Good morning, everyone. This is Ben Dunn, founder of Antarctic Press, a small publishing company. Been in business since 1985. Don't know why, don't know how, but we're still around. I'm also the creator of such books as comics as Ninja High School, which is approaching issue number 200, Warrior Nun, which has a series on Netflix, and Tomorrow Girl, and a host of other comic books. Just keeping busy, keeping myself sane, as they say. So tomorrow we're gonna have an eclipse. Not just any old eclipse; it's gonna be a full eclipse. Something we haven't seen in literally over 100 years, apparently, according to what the scientists say. And it got me thinking about things. A lot of people are saying that this eclipse is some sort of sign. I mean, ancient civilizations used to believe, at least some of them, my understanding is that eclipses were, harbingers of either some great calamity or some great change. And we are certainly going through a lot of changes, aren't we? Not only in our society, in our pop culture, politically, things like that. Gives one pause to think about what might be coming down the pipe. Now, I hate to break it to you, but change always happens, whether there's an eclipse or not. People, it's just the standard nature of things to change. Nothing remains forever. And that's why I think that, all these things, all these people who are complaining about, various IPs that are undergoing change, you just need to let it go, man. Let it go. I love Star Wars. Star Wars is a great IP. I was, about 13 years old when the first Star Wars movie, I went to the theater. I experienced firsthand Star Wars when it first came out. How much of a big impact it had on me. How much it really affected me. How much I wanted to become a filmmaker. I almost did, but I chickened out at the last minute. I just didn't have the courage to relocate to California, where I wanted to attend a film school. So I set on the next best thing. I started doing comics. Figured, comics are like movies. It's like they're just not moving. They're not saying anything. There's no music, but it's almost like movies. So I'm just calling out that, you know what? We need to let Star Wars go, man. Just let it go. It's one of those things that it's not yours to control. It's Disney's to control. As long as they own it, they can do whatever they want with it. They can grind it into the ground, as that's so to be. They can try to find a new audience. That's their prerogative. The only way they're ever going to change, or switch directions, is they get to the point where it becomes too painful for them. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is when it becomes too painful for them is that when they lose such a vast amount of money that they no longer can be sustained. And they'll just either change or they'll just drop it. There was periods of times where Star Wars didn't come out. It was kept alive by fans of the love of the movies. And that's how anything is kept alive, really. It's the fans, it's people. People keep things alive. Otherwise, these are just IPs, okay? These are just, things that entertain us, amuse us. In the grand scheme of things, how does it really change our, affect our lives? Not really. Yeah, you can get some entertainment. Yeah, sure. You can use it as a basis for something for you to do, for you to be engaged with. It always surprises me how people analyze things like Star Wars. They try to break it apart, take it down to its basic components. I think it's because they enjoy it so much that they want to be part of it. Hell, I mean, the only Star Wars thing I ever did officially was I did some Topps Trading's cards for Star Wars. That's it. That's all I did. And when it was fun, I liked it, enjoyed it. It was a paying gig, so it was done, one and done. So that was my only interaction officially with any Star Wars IP. So I'm calling people to just stop complaining, man. I mean, what's the point? What is the point? You think they're going to change because you complain about it? That you're going to say, oh, Star Wars is just, not the way it used to be. You should do this, you should do that. Well, do it then. If you think you're so clever and so smart that you think you can save Star Wars, then go save Star Wars. You think that all this complaining and all this insulting the people who are behind the creation of Star Wars, you think they care? Really what you think? No, they don't. They're in it for a paycheck. Okay? If they have an agenda, that's their prerogative. Disney must have thought, that Disney probably didn't care. Hey, you got an agenda? Go ahead. We don't care. We'll pay you for it. We'll give you vast amounts of money. It's only when they get to the point of total failure that they'll change. Because that's the one thing that they covet more than anything else is money. That's the only thing. They don't care about Star Wars as an IP. They don't care about Star Wars audience. They don't care about Star Wars fans. They only care as so much as how much they can, suck money out of your wallet. When that pipeline dries up, then they'll start paying attention. That's the only thing they understand. Only thing they understand. I mean, sure, I could go into the minutia of Star Wars and decide what, and do it. But in the end, it's fun to talk about it. It's fun to talk with your friends. Fun to talk with fellow fans. But how does that affect the IP at all? Not one iota. The only way it's going to be affected is if you somehow get involved in the creation of Star Wars material. Or you get to the point where you own the IP. Okay, or you can affect the owners of the IP. If they truly wanted to, make money on Star Wars, it only would make sense to provide people what they want. So I mean, apparently, they're happy with it. So you have to just admit that if you think they're doing a bad job, then what are you going to do about it? What do you feel like can be done? You're rather helpless, actually. The only thing you can do is vote with your dollars. That is the one power you have over all of these IPs. The almighty dollar. The sooner I think fans realize this, the better. And I think it may be taking a toll. Who knows? I think for the most part, the vast majority of people out there, they don't care. They just want a distraction for a couple of hours. If Star Wars provides that distraction, then great. If they don't, they're not going to watch it. Simple as that. That's just the way it is. You have a choice. Okay? You don't have to watch anything that you don't like. You can try it, see if it's good. It used to be Star Wars was good, or at least it was entertaining. I mean, it was just one of those things you just have to accept. So to me, Star Wars is dead. Long live Star Wars. If perchance in the future a new Star Wars movies were to come out, I'll check it out. I always like to check new things out. See if it's something that can be revived. In my eyes. So for all of you out there who are just complaining for the sake of complaining, insulting for the sake of insulting, ask yourself, what does that really do? What good does that really do? Not much, I don't think. I mean, yes, it's good for clickbait. Yes, it's good to enrage other, fans who feel the same way, feel like they're helpless in the face of, an IP that they love being destroyed in their opinion. In their eyes, they're doing just fine. They're doing just great. They don't care. As long as they're making money off it, they don't care. It has to be so catastrophically devastating that that's when they'll start paying attention. But until that happens, it's just going to be the way it is. So move on to something else. In fact, ironically enough, you should be like George Lucas. The reason we made Star Wars, right? Everyone knows this story. He wanted to do Flash Gordon. He couldn't do Flash Gordon. So you know what he did? He decided to make his own version of it. So he created Star Wars. Now Star Wars is bigger than Flash Gordon. So be the same. If you don't like Star Wars, make your own Star Wars. Just make your own Star Wars. Maybe it will be better than Star Wars. So I think it's time that fans acknowledge that Star Wars as an IP is no longer the same Star Wars that was first created. And I think the sooner we accept that, the sooner we can move on, find something else, find another thing we can attach to, become passionate about, and live life to the fullest. Yeah. So that's just my thoughts for today. And hopefully you'll like and subscribe, and leave a comment below. I may not reply to every single one, but I do read them. Please, so I don't. I'm just not very good at replying, because I feel if you wanted to comment on something, then I would love to see what your feedback is. So till next time, this has been Dunn, signing off.